Let's be honest. Nobody's excited about this Tennessee Titans offense. It really sucks. We got the Titans, we got the Buffalo Bills. The over under for this matchup is 41. I anticipate it going lower than that. And the Titans are 9-point dogs coming into the game. Let's talk about fantasy football outlook and some potential props. I got a couple juicy, little tidbits here for you folks. So we'll start with the quarterback matchup between Will Levis and Josh Allen. We'll talk about what the Bills defense allows on average to opposing quarterbacks. No matter what we say, guys, hold on, let me get a close up. No matter what we say, okay, even though there's an advantage for Will Levis, he is not going to take advantage of it. Watch me eat my words. Anyways, this is not going to be the week where he takes advantage of his matchup. So let's talk about Josh Allen's advantages because he's the first quarterback up here. He's the first quarterback up here. All right. We'll talk about what the Tennessee Titans defense allows to opposing quarterbacks, and we'll see if there's an outlier prop here. I will caveat this. The Tennessee Titans defense has been absolutely spectacular. Will Levis has been absolutely pathetic. They deserve better from him and from coaching. Put in Rudolph. All right. So let's talk about it. The Titans defense on average allow the 25th most advantageous, so not very advantageous matchup, one passing touchdown per game. They allow 27.6 pass attempts per game. That's 29th. They allow 16.2 pass completions. That's 30th. And they are the best team in the NFL in terms of on average pass yards per game. So it's the worst matchup when it comes to passing yards. Currently, Josh Allen's passing yards is at 214.5. Obviously, if Amari Cooper plays, and it looks like he's going to play, that number is totally doable. But I don't like the props at all. The only prop I do like for Josh Allen is his rushing yards. It is a very advantageous matchup when it comes to rushing yards for opposing quarterbacks against the Tennessee Titans defense. Let's talk about what the Bills allow, and let's talk about Will Levis's props. No matter what, Josh Allen's a must start. No matter what, he's always going to be in line as the top 5 quarterback, even though he hasn't been performing as such lately. But yeah, let's keep it rocking. Okay, Bills defense allow on average to opposing quarterbacks 1.33 pass touchdowns per game. This is the 16th most advantageous matchup for Will Levis. They allow 34.67 pass attempts, 7th most advantageous, 22.83 pass completions, 8th most advantageous, 228.17 pass yards, 15th most advantageous, so middle of the line. Will Levis's props, 183.5 passing yards, not interested. 17.5 completions, not interested. 13.5 rushing yards, absolutely. Give it to me. I will take that as a lock each and every single week. Don't love the pass plus rush. All right, let's talk about the running back matchup. James Cook is healthy, good to go. Tony Pollard has a great matchup this week. Let's look at his props and let's talk about the advantages. So if we're talking about rush TDs, the Bills allow 0.5 rush TDs per game to opposing running backs. That's 23rd, so not very advantageous. When we're talking about rush yards, 12th most advantageous, 110.67 rush yards. Currently, Tony Pollard's rushing yard total here on Drafters Fantasy. And if you want to tail, use promo code DISCO to double your initial deposit dollar for dollar up to $100 Rooskies. It's at 64.5. I do like it. I will take the over on that on a couple of tickets. Now, this is the most advantageous matchup for all running backs when it comes to receptions and receiving yards this week. So the Bills allow 6.83 receptions. His current reception marker is at 3.5. I do like this a heck of a lot because it looks like Tajay Spears is not good to go. And then receiving yards, 23.5. Once again, the Bills allow 61.33. I also like the over on that. He's the only good thing going on this offense, Tony Pollard. And if you guys listened to me in the offseason, I would have told you the only person you should invest in your fantasy football drafts, in your best ball lineups, is Tony Pollard out of this offense. You guys didn't listen. It is what it is. Let's talk about James Cook and his opportunity here, or lack thereof. They don't have drafters props for him, but I will say when they do post his drafters props, longest receptions a lock every single week. Like, just do it, okay? Titans defense allow on average 0.2 rush TDs per game to opposing running backs. 29th most advantageous, not very advantageous. 28th most advantageous. Once again, 1 is very good, 28 not so good. There's 32 teams. Do the math. 72.4 rush yards, not great. 24th in receptions, 3.8. 23rd in receiving yards. That is 28.6. Let's talk about the wide receiver matchup here. We got Calvin Ridley and we got potentially Amari Cooper. There is no Amari Cooper props, but there are a couple Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins props that we could look at here. So, on average, okay, The Bills defense allow 11.17 receptions to opposing wide receivers. That's 18th, not great. 132.33 receiving yards. That's 23rd, also not great. 0.67 receiving TDs. That's 25th, not good at all. 39.5 receiving yards. He's been putting up a kerfuffle and a fuss about not getting targets in the first. He's played like shit. It's been absolutely atrocious. I do like the 39.5 receiving yards. I think this is totally doable. Let's look at DeAndre Hopkins, 44.5 receiving yards. Definitely not doable. I mean, it's doable, but I don't like it. And then Tyler Boyd, 20.5 receiving yards. Once again, guys, as long as Will Levis is the quarterback, it's tough to really bet on anybody other than Tony Pollard and Will Levis's rushing yards. I like both of those props for Tennessee. That's about it. But I mean, this is kind of tasty at 39.5. Let's talk about what the Titans defense allows. Once again, one of the best defenses. They deserve better. 29th, so really, really good defense when it comes to receptions against opposing wide receivers. That's 9.6 receptions. They are the best defense when it comes to receiving yards against them on a weekly basis against opposing wide receivers. That's 98.6 receiving yards. And they are the second best when it comes to 0.4 receiving touchdowns. Like you can't really do much against these guys in the air or on the ground. This defense has been absolutely spectacular, absolutely lights out. Once again, they deserve better. Let's talk about tight ends. I don't think there's props for Dalton Kincaid up yet because we're still waiting on news for our guy Amari Cooper. If he's playing or not, that definitely skews a couple things. So Vegas is still, putting that out there. All right, so let's talk about Chigo Konkwu's opportunity. It's rather advantageous, but he's not going to take advantage of it. We said that last week. I'm done betting on him until I see like 2-3 weeks on paper where there's good production from Will Levis and all the receiving targets. 4.83 receptions, 7th most advantageous matchup, 34.5 receiving yards, 11th most advantageous, and tied for 32nd with the Buffalo Bills for least advantageous matchup when it comes to receiving touchdowns. Chigo Konkwu should be a sit. I think he's droppable. Dalton Kincaid doesn't have a good matchup. Does not have a good matchup whatsoever. He's actually on my sit list this week as well. And shout out to Dawson Knox for that anytime touchdown last week. That cast huge. Love to see it. So they allow the Titans defense allow on average 2.8 receptions, 31st. Once again, second best defense in that marker. Do not bet on his receptions. Don't bet on his receiving yards. 31st there as well. And as we mentioned earlier, 32nd. When it comes to receiving touchdowns, they've allowed 0 receiving touchdowns to opposing tight ends thus far. Thank you guys for rocking with me. I'm really trying to pump this content out. Your likes, your subscriptions, they mean the world to me. Watch the video, like the video, subscribe to the video, take the bets, use promo code DISCO, and I'll see you guys for the next video. We're about to literally record that right now. God bless you. God love you. Talk to you in a bit.